Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to Time with Jesus and Truck Talk. And don't know these days so much truck talk, but it's definitely time with Jesus and time to give thanks for everything that He has done for us. Uh, it's a journey, it's a struggle, it's a mind control. And don't know if I mentioned in the last video, the doctor that I went and seen gave me some stuff for a mild depression, which anybody that follows me long enough that's been around know that I'm not much on pills or taking pain relief, but I rely on my faith and I rely on my trust, and I just finally said I need something. It's been a week, a little over a week, as far as taking the new set of medication. One of them is just an ibuprofen. It's 800 milligrams, so I'm not taking all the other stuff that I was taking, the Tylenol and the ibuprofen together. But it seems to be helping a lot. I'm able to focus a little bit more than what I was and not get so distracted. I mean, I still, like, driving wise, I'm still not comfortable driving, but that's okay. I put my faith and trust in God and everything that He's doing, and I believe in healing. I believe in the people that's praying. I believe in the people that's at the church and praying over me and putting oil on me. And I truly believe that God's going to heal me. He told me, and everything He tells me, that I don't doubt it. I put it into the bank and guarantee that it's there when it's needed. So that being said, people, we're looking out our windows a lot these days, and what are you receiving from seeing out there? Fear, 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 fear. Satan. I'm going to start digging back into these. I know I've been saying it, but I'm able to, if tomorrow is as good as what I'm feeling right now, not as far as pain relief. And the only reason why I say these things and I bring this in there, because I do get people asking me how I'm doing and the outcomes, but also because I don't want workman's comp or anything that Satan will try to throw out there just because I'm doing a video. I'm sitting down. It's not like I'm dancing around or in there, mowing or doing anything out of the unordinary. Trust me, if I was, anytime I do move for long periods of time, it's a bad situation. I'm walking with the cane. The other day I was walking with the walker, and it is what it is. So that's the reason why, because you don't think for a moment that anything that Satan's not going to use social media, people. You're absolutely wrong. And I'm not doing this just to cover myself. I'm doing it because to prove a point that you could put me through any test you want, any DOT physical, and there's no way I can pass it. So that being said, Satan puts fear, Satan puts doubt, Satan puts thoughts into your head, and unfortunately sometimes our family does the same thing. They'll put thoughts into our heads, and you don't know to believe them or not to believe them. We can't allow that to overcome us. We have to pray and we have to do the right things. We cannot be breaking down the spirit of someone else, even though we feel that this is a lie or anything else. Until you know for sure it's a lie, we can't say it's a lie. And, I'm struggling with that myself right now because I got a family member doing something, but over the time I have proven that it wasn't such the case. And, I don't know, I give everybody the benefit of the doubt until I know otherwise. And that's what God expects. But you look at, go back in some of the earlier videos where I talked about the RFID chips and scanning of the hands and the eyes and even in the forehead. And, this mark is coming, people. It's more and more. You're going to start seeing people doing this more and more. And I'm telling you, it's willingly. We are right now. It's willingly, but in the end times, it's going to be you're going to do it, or you're not going to eat or anything. And hopefully, you're not here during that time. So this is the time that for revival. This is the time for truth. This is the time to make yourself right with Christ. This is the time that to accept Him. This is the time to do away with them foolish things that the flesh wants. God gives us great gifts, people. I mean, there's no reason why we should be sitting in this house we're sitting in today. The way the thing unfolded, it was on a private Facebook thing, and Darlene just happened to be not doing the pantry that day. They sent her down to the kitchen to help prepare meals and stuff to be passed out later on. And she happened to run into a person that knew that this house, they were telling her that was on part of the private Facebook group thing. And she got the information and went back and forth. They finally started texting. I started finally talking to him. And like I said, it was a nightmare, but God's in control of everything. We just got to let God be God. And we got to let Jesus be Jesus. Yes, I understand God poured his spirit out into God, and I'm not coming against any of that. I'm just saying Jesus is the only way into heaven, through him to the kingdom. So that being said, why do we fear so much? Why are we so fearful of what our spouses are going to do, what our kids are going to do, our neighbors are going to do? Just like today, I'm out to trying to put these things together, and I got problems with the neighbors up above, and I just don't like talking to them. I don't want to be around them. There's nothing godly about them, and it's just button pushing is what I call it. So I just came back inside and I said, you know what, I'm not. I want to stretch a little bit and get some stuff done, and what I'm capable of doing, and which is much, but at least I got to walk around a little bit in a fenced-in yard that I wish it could have been built taller, like a castle wall. But I realized I was allowing Satan to put fear into me. And I just walked back out there again. Because, every time I go out there, it's whether asking me personal stuff about financial, why I'm home, am I still working at this place? I get tired of talking about that stuff. I get tired of going to these doctors and giving it's on the notes. Read the notes. I shouldn't have to tell you what's wrong with me. It's on the notes. It's in the testing, and you got all that information in front of you. Do your job, so I ain't got to keep doing this. I'm not the one wanting to come here. I'm basically forced because the letter stated if I don't go, they're going to cut off workman's comp, basically. Well, how many more doctors do I need to go see? And that's my reply. It's like they're all saying the same thing. Satan's good at what he does. And I tell you the stuff about my life because I know I'm not the only one going through this right now, and I know that I'm not the only one that's battling. Is God really there? Is God really doing what he's supposed to be doing? And I'm not saying I'm battling that, but I know people do. I know people question, why does God do this? Well, why do we sin? Why does it take God so long? Maybe we're not ready for that asking what we're asking for. Maybe you're never going to be ready for it. You can't ask God for $1 million if you're foolish with $1. You can't ask God to bless you when you refuse to bless someone else. You can't expect to take blessings but not give blessings. And that's what's happening. A lot of this, we're all relying on Donald Trump, but are you praying that he's doing the right things? And look at the people he's got in there. Look at the wishy-washy things of Zuckerman. 1 minute he's putting these glasses out, trying to do away with iPhones. Everything's Apple, and you realize that ain't going to happen because nobody can afford that stupid Apple phone, let alone have it. I'm not coming against anybody that has Apple phones. Some people need it for their business. Some people need it because it basically was, from what I understand about Apple phones, was for like people in stock markets, doctors, and stuff like that. If you need it and you can understand all that mumbo jumbo, I don't see the sense in having. I'm still figuring out stuff on my smartphone that is smarter than me. It should have came with an interpreter to understand the stupid thing, because I'm not. My technology only goes so far. Yes, I know how to hook up a lot of things and I know how to fix a lot of things, but I'm shocked sometimes when I just happen, and then I forget how to do it. Like one time I put this pass thing when I had to punch in a number or scan my finger, and see right there. I'm glad the Lord brought that up. Right there, people, they're already getting us used to scanning our fingers. How many of you got a scan code on your thing where you put your finger on there and it unlocks your phone? Think about this, because that's what you're going to do when that chip's implanted, and they're going to do it in the right hand. You might say, no, what if I went the left? They ain't going to do it because it's not going to fulfill the prophecy of the Bible. Watch and see when you start seeing people scan. I mean, I've seen people do it already, and it's the right hand, and I'm positive that it's all going to be done in the right hand. Because of the way the keypads and all that stuff is, the way the scan pads, they're going to say, well, we can't do it because it's not going to scan. What if you're left-handed? It doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, are you able to put your right hand on top of something? Are you able to pick up something with your right hand? There's going to be no excuses, people. The only excuse is, are you willingly going to do it? If you do it, then what if I walked in there and said, right now, put this chip in there. If not, we're not going to feed you. And you got kids at home, young kids. What if you know you only got one box of cereal left in there and no milk, and you were supposed to stop at the grocery store tonight, and you were not going to be able to shop? What if they're telling you, we're taking all your money in the bank and transferring it into this ghost account, and it's going to be locked into this chip, and if you don't do it, you're not getting a card? Because the cards, people are, I mean, how many of you are hearing about this scammer thing where they're putting things onto your keypads that you put your card into, or you swipe it, or whatever you're doing these days at the self checkouts and stuff? How many of you are seeing these scam things going on? Why? Because they're getting you fearful not to use it. You're going to be fearful, and you're going to know, well, if I put my hand on it, then it's just going to read this chip, and nobody can manipulate my hand because my fingerprints are unique. They're one of a kind. Okay. Again, you're taking a chip. You willingly take it. Well, Nelson, come on now. What would you do? I'm not doing it. You know why I'm not doing it? Because I have faith that God would pour down manna to me. I got faith that God will give me a quail. I got some hunting experience. I mean, I know how to throw a net into there. And I'm trying to find this net that I've been looking for to show you guys what I was talking about. If you ever get stranded somewhere in a car or something like that, and there's a lake by, and one day I'm going to do that video, and there's many different ways. You don't need a fishing pole, you don't need fishing line at times, and I'm telling you, it's quick, simple, easy, and if God wanted to jump a fish out of the water and feed you, He would. I'm not much on cleaning, but I do know fish, you just cut them open in the belly and pull all the crap out of the inside and shove a stick through there and put it on a fire. I find out real quick. I mean, even if you cut it completely open and when you got it cooked and you eat it from the inside, and it's the heck with the skin and all that stuff, you just eat what you can eat and call it a day. I mean, I'm not big on flaying fish and all that, but some of you may be. Some of you may not be. So if you're not and you're like me, I mean, that's how I would do it. I just cut the tail off, cut the head off when it's done, and split it right open and eat from the inside of it. What if there's this and that? I don't care. Suck the eyeballs out of it if I had to. Survival is survival. I mean, what are you going to do? God said, in the Bible, the Lord says we should be spared of that hour. So, but are you truly ready? I know a lot of you comment, yes, yes, yes. I said on that one video, I said, tell me if you feel you're ready. And there wasn't one person that sent me back yes. I had a couple people email me and said that they believe so. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't take a believe so. And that's when I told him, I said, man, I don't want to believe, I want to know. And every day I ask Jesus, if I'm not ready, make me ready. If I'm not ready, take anything out of my life. If I'm not ready, change this. And every day I just think, what if today's the day? Do I have anything in me? Do I have any hatred? Do I have anything against anybody? I mean, I just keep going down the line of what ifs. And, you got prophets talking about this as a payout year. And I've said it. The Lord showed me open doors and said He was going to restore things and restore finances and things into people's lives. And, but, they got people, there was one prophet saying that She said that, if you got any hidden things or any vines or anything in your garden, you got to get it out of there, God's not going to do it. Like hatefulness, unforgiven. You got a grudge against someone. It falls into hatefulness. Gossiping, all that crap. It's just crap, people. It's garbage. Your thoughts. You're angry one day at your kids. You're angry the next day at your spouse, or I'm tired of this. I'm moving out, and all this garbage. You're a coward because you allow the coward to drag you out of there. Why'd you marry the person in the first place? If you married somebody just for pleasure, and I'll leave it at that, then you got married for the wrong reasons. And I don't know what to tell you, because that only lasts so long. The fun wears off. What if you got hurt and you can't do those things? Are you going to leave the person then? I mean, is that the only thing that keeps you there? Is it children that keeps you together? Well, I'm telling you, sooner or later your children grow up and they move out and you realize I'm stuck in this same rut, in the same person, and I'm not happy. And, that person's doing whatever they're doing, and you no longer have this connection to keep the kids going because they're all gone. So staying with somebody for children is not the right reason, because eventually, like I said, they grow up and go. Am I telling you to get a divorce? No, I'm saying seek God. Seek God through everything you do. Seek God, seek the kingdom first before you do anything of the day. We're too busy planning things because Satan wants us to be busy. He wants us to be overwhelmed with the day. But it's up to you to not make it overwhelming. Because if God has it in storage, you're going to think about it. Tonight, when your day's done, how many of you already thought about tomorrow? How many of you have been thinking about tomorrow already and you haven't even made it through the day? Our big thing is, what are we going to eat today? What am I going to the gym today? Do the kids got games tonight? Do I got to take them to practice? I'm wore out now and I don't want to do this. I'm stressing out. I'm working over and I'm doing these things. I've been there, done it, and it sucks. I ran a business and the money was constantly gone, and I'm working on stuff that's breaking, trying to keep stuff that's old, belts and stuff. I'm putting pop rivets through belts and stuff, trying to hold them together to run on a commercial mower. It was horrible, people, because there was never money. And again, it was my fault. I take full blame today. I don't blame my ex. I blame myself. I truly blame myself. I allowed it. I just gave up on life and I gave up on everything. And Satan won that battle. Satan won, but God gets victory out of it all in the end, because Satan, he didn't win me. He almost had me, but Jesus, came and pleaded my case. Jesus' mercy, Jesus' love, Jesus' grace. Jesus is everything in my life, because I don't want nothing else but that. No person on this earth can fill the void that Jesus has filled in my life. And again, people, I do apologize, but I should have brought a cushion down to sit on, because it starts getting uncomfortable. But I think his name was Anthony. He said, do I ever regret living in that satanic realm? Anthony, if your name was Anthony, if not, then you sent me this email. So if it's not, I do apologize, but I believe it was Anthony. I really don't. For once, I said I always thought I would come to something somebody asked, or a sin or something that I haven't lived through. I don't know if this really falls into that category, but it's a tough question. I mean, that really is, because two ways of looking at it. I learned the demonic realm and learned how to battle it today, I guess, is a better way, and how to not fall back into it. So in that way, I guess, I'm blessed to have that knowledge. I'm blessed to be able to be alive to share that knowledge. I'm thankful that Jesus spared me to be able to come and share that knowledge of that realm in His realm, which being Jesus, which leads to heaven. Um, and I tell people all the time, you don't have to believe me, but you'll believe me. Wherever you end up, you will believe me. If it's hell, you're definitely going to believe me, because you're not going to lose that thoughts that you're hearing now. Not like when you go to heaven, you're made new and you forget about this earth, because all that information will be taken from you to keep you out of pain, to keep you out of tears, and keep you out of sorrow and regrets. All that stuff goes, people. And that's the power of heaven. I mean, that's what's great about it. You may say, well, what's so great? Me not remembering my children or a family member, because where are they? I mean, how close are you really to some of these aunts, uncles, grandparents, and all this stuff? People pass away and they go in there and cry. I mean, really, how close are you to these people? If you're that close, you'd be stopping by. I remember the kids when they were little, their grandma lived right down the road by one of their friends, and they called her up when they wanted wings and stuff like that, but it couldn't even stop by. And the one daughter was driving to go see a person, and drive right through that area, never stop in to see her. But when she died, it's like people were crying and throwing. I'm like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. You had all that opportunity to spend, but it wasn't important. But it's important to go to a funeral. I hate funerals. I really do. I hate going to them. It irritates me. It's a puppet show. It's a circus. I don't care what you want to call it. The person is dead, and the money that people spend on this, and then they put him in the ground. And how many people really go to a gravesite? What a waste of money. Somebody says, is it an abomination to get cremated? I don't know. Anywhere in the Bible, I don't really know if somebody really knows if this is in the Bible. But you think about, they did burn people back then. I mean, I really don't know. That's a good question. I'm going to have to look it up. And when I come back onto the next video tomorrow, which today's Friday, I don't know what the date is, to be honest, but it's still April. So I had to go the 22nd, I believe, was Tuesday. So 23rd would be Wednesday, 24th, 25th, I guess. 25th, or maybe the 26th, I don't know. But it's still April, so I don't know. All I know is that I really don't know. I want to be cremated because I don't see the sense in paying all that money for a vault and all that stuff to go in the ground when, ashes to ashes, dust to dust is what I say. I came from dirt. I want to return to it. Just dump me in the water somewhere. Dump me in a rose garden bed. Till me under. I don't really care because I'm not there. When somebody says, well, what about when God raises up the bones and all that? Well, then God can raise up my ashes. I'll be in a new body in heaven anyways. So and I'm not trying to be mean about it, but I really don't put a lot of thought into cremation or burial. I guess it depends. What do you think they do with all these homeless people they find on the street? They cremate them, people. What are they going to do with them? Bury them? Do you know of a cemetery where, other than the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, which I think is the biggest crock there is out there? And I think, to me, everybody thinks it's respectful. No, I think it's disrespectful. I think the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is very disrespectful. And the reason why I say that, because look how many people came back without their dog tags. Why do we uphold one person in that tomb instead of all the other people came back without dog tags and all these other John Does? Why this person? Why not them? Why are they all not in this? Why don't they just build a big underground tomb? Or is there anything really in there? Is there steps? Is it steps going into a tunnel? Is it steps going into the tunnel to the White House? I mean, think about this. I mean, they'll kill you if you cross that line and you keep coming. It's like Area 51. Come on. Why is it so protected? That's my question. Why one soldier's life that we have no clue of who it is, where it is, and look at that. I mean, I've been there twice, people. I've seen it. I literally seen it. I put my hands on stones in the Arlington Cemetery. I looked at that line of people that died on that wall. It just goes on and on and on. And it's like, wow, And I mean, wow. I say wow because it's wow. I mean, it's just incredible how straight them lines is and all that. But I was told by the person giving the tour, there's plenty of people that was brought over here that just has John Doe on their stones, and they bury him kind of, I guess, together in a section of the Arlington Cemetery, from what I'm understanding. But of course, I was in sixth grade and eighth grade when I went, and I didn't take the tour in eighth grade. I just went and watched Tomb of the Unknown Soldier because I think it's interesting watching the Marine guys flip them guns around and do all that fancy dancy stuff. To me, that's amazing. I've always been amazed by watching them march and how fit and everything they are, and my mind is. I apologize, people. I really do. Days I just struggle. I mean, there's days that I just sit and just, I guess, zone out a little bit or something. I don't know if it's just the pain's overtaking me, and I mean, nothing really helps though. I mean, it eases it off, but my knees don't stop hurting. I mean, I hate to keep talking about this stuff on these videos, but when this stuff happens, I just want you to know I'm not. I mean, look, I can show you my ears. I don't have any earbuds or nothing in. I'm not listening to anybody. This is what I go through all day, and it's horrible. I mean, it really is. Uh, Sick of sleeping in a recliner chair. I'm just tired, and I really don't know what to do some days. And yesterday it was a bad day, and I just kept thinking I never thought that I would get to this point in life. But I'm grateful for what I have. I mean, I really am. I'm grateful that at least I got somebody in my corner. Darlene had every opportunity to leave, but she didn't leave, and I really don't feel like I'm worthy of having anybody with me, to be honest. Um, I don't know. So many people has taken me wrong. So many people because I say something a certain way. Uh, it, it's crazy. I think about the people that I thought was my friends and church people, and it was nice talking to them. It was nice being on their channel. We were supposed to go on there again in May, but May's come and gone of last year. It's already been over a year. I think of the Randy K stuff because I was tied up at Walmart that I wasn't supposed to be, and I believe Satan didn't want me back on that channel at the time. He stopped it, and I still believe it. I haven't heard from them since, and it's sad. It's sad that I just felt like it was really important to go back on there because I had a lot of thoughts about. I really didn't even know what we were going to talk about or what was going on there. I didn't know if it was Q&A style questions, but I really thought deep down in my heart that was God was going to use me to touch some people that day. And then when I got home, I realized I listened to the voicemails and stuff, but it makes me really look at people different, not to put so much faith and trust in them because of they're just people, you know, not even a reply to a comment or anything. I mean, that's pretty drastic. And I finally get a comment, And then you switch out of the Randy K deal and you go into the other person. You know, I just never thought that he would be like that. I mean, uh, you kind of feel like I called him a friend, and I don't do that often. Uh, but then you're let down by it, and that's why I don't like friends. That's why I don't like a lot of people around me or in my life to be connected to it because of disappointment. And it's happened every time. And you know, I don't know what I used to call her, but I always had her name wrong, and it's Ayana or Anna. I, anyway, she lives down in Florida, and I don't know. I think she took me wrong. Some of the stuff we were talking about, and I just never heard from her again. I hope she's doing okay because she was struggling through some stuff, and she was talking about her old boyfriend and stuff, getting back into her kind of back in her life, and I just I always feared for some reason about that boyfriend. I just didn't feel right with it, but don't know, don't know if she's ever done okay. And I think about the other lady in Florida that had the children. Um, I forget her name too. I don't think she ever told us. I don't think she ever told me her name. She might have, but I think about Luke. I forget what I used to call him too, but Brandon. I I don't know if he's even watching these videos anymore, but you know, I'm just hoping he understands that when I do a video with him, I just want to be normal, you know, and it's out of respect for the people. It's not out of respect for me. I want to give everybody 100%. Not right now. I'm only, if I had to put a percentage, 25, 30% of me. And you know, I pray. I pray for a lot of people. I pray for Susan. I haven't. And for some reason, she came to my mind the other day. I was going through some of the old videos. She used to send me all kinds of stuff, and some of the stuff I just wouldn't read and I wouldn't respond to it because it was current event stuff, and I don't really read a lot of that stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that she was telling me, that stuff I talked about. And she was showing me videos on that, and she would tell me, and I just hope she's okay. I mean, honestly, because you know the lifestyles can come back quick. And you think about Canada, you think about all the stuff that's going on up there. um, Denny and her children were up there, and I still, she replied on the video not too long ago, so I know she's still alive. And it's one of those things that, I mean, I can go down the list of people. I mean, uh, I can't think of her name, but she went by something Love, Donna Love, I think it was, or something like that. Uh, you know, and anybody's comments, honestly, anybody that's been on here for a long period of time, uh, I do pray for you guys. I mean, I truly do. Forgive me if I offend anybody by when I say you in general. Some of you, I don't know your family history, or if you have a spouse or don't have a spouse. It's not important, but I'm praying for you. Um, if I know you got a spouse or anything, and the spouse isn't godly or anything like that, but mainly what I'm praying for, even in that time, I'm praying for you for protection. If the spouse is like that, it doesn't matter if it's male or female. I don't care. I'm praying the same thing. Um, you know, it's up to you to determine what you're going to believe or not. You know, don't let Satan run your mile all the way over there. Um, I forget Shannon. Shannon was another one. Just it's what was it, Marcus? I don't know what, I mean, it's like, I feel for him because he was going, I mean, he kept telling me that he kept having bad thoughts and dreams and revisiting stuff in his past. And that scared me. I mean, it really did. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, man, you just got to keep reading and praying. And I just kept praying and praying and praying. And then all of a sudden the emails stop and he won't reply to anything. I got to get a hold of, again, I can't remember her name, but her son was, he blames God. He's mad at God. And that breaks my heart because I can relate to that. I mean, if you're watching these videos, guys, I haven't forgot you. I still pray for you. And I just ask for broken chains if anything's holding you. And I pray for financial blessings in your life. I pray for the revival in your life, that you truly just give it all to Jesus and lay your life down before it's too late. Maybe some of you are. Maybe some of you are starting to doubt whether this is ever going to happen. We can't do that. We really can't do that right now. I mean, that's what Satan's want. So, I'm just lost for words right now. I feel a lot of pain in this world today. I feel a lot of hope, and people are, I'm hearing a lot of stuff people are saying on social networks and stuff. And people saying, oh, I thought Donald Trump was going to do this and Donald Trump's supposed to do that. We're already into May. How come we're not seeing any of this? How long is it going to take? I can't even tell you how much in federal, and we still had to pay out another $2,100 or $2,200 on top of everything they'd taken out of us. And I'm like, my gosh, I thought for sure we'd at least get something back, and had to turn around and pay that. And then Darlene's truck had some issues, and now it's in the body shop, and then it's got to come out of there and go to a mechanic to get some kind of cam sensors replaced. I'm going to Google it and see how hard, difficult that is, but I can't physically do it. I'm not going to be able to stand up on a ladder because the truck's high. I mean, it takes we drive the car more than we drive that truck right now, and I know she likes driving it. I mean, it was her birthday gift, and when things are going good, I'm glad. I mean, it was an expensive truck for but it's got low miles and stuff on it, and I'm just glad that it's paid off, because right now, man, that payment we would have been really struggling to get by, and I'm glad God gave us that opportunity to pay it off and pay the car off, and I don't know. I really don't know what would happen right now. But I do know that God would provide, and I trust in that, people. I really do. No matter what you're going through, I was there. I doubted God. I doubted that all this was real, and there's so many things that happens that I know it's God. I just know it. I mean, there's no other way to explain it. I mean, if you can't explain it, then what is it then? Me of all peoples to sit here and tell you to have that trust. You may say, well, Nelson, my tire's flat and I can't afford to fix it, and I got to get to work. I'm about to lose my job. Well, maybe God is having that problem in your life right now, so you could just fall on your knees. But don't just fall on your knees until something's fixed. God's going to open, whether he sends somebody there to give you a ride, or he just happens to have a neighbor comes out and go, hey, I got one of those tires in my garage. I can throw it on there for you. God's capable of doing anything. But if you're not going to take God out of a box, you're never going to make it. And that's all I'm saying today is put God first, put Jesus second, put your family third, put your spouse third, put your family, your children, if you have them, fourth, and put your biological families. 5th, your friends under that. 6, acquaintances, people at work or whatever. So on, so on, so on. Just keep making a list. Eventually you run out of people to put on a list or put in an area somewhere. So, you know, you think about Donald Trump and you think about all the people that replace Putin, and you think of Canada, Russia. You think, well, Russia's Putin. You think of Israel. You think of all these leaders. They're only capable of doing what God wants. People, look at Judas. He was a thief, and Jesus let him hold the money back. So what does that tell you? It tells me that Jesus doesn't make mistakes. It tells me that God doesn't make mistakes. What's in your life today that's holding you? It's time to give it to him. So I'm going to end it here because I'm starting to really kind of get a headache, and I'm going to have to go take something. But God bless you guys, and I appreciate all the concerns, and I appreciate the kind words, and not giving up on me. You're really not giving up on me. You're just giving up on God at this point, because everything I tell you, I mean, I don't know too many people that come on here and share their own stories and personal stuff and stuff people are embarrassed about. If it can help you, I don't really care. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing in my closets that you people don't already know. How many people are willing to say, they put in the wrong thing and they end up on porn sites and stuff, and you just get sucked into the realm. I wasn't doing the other stuff with it, don't get me wrong, but I still looked at it. It's not right. None of it's right. You got to watch, because you can get sucked right back into it again, especially these days. Oh my gosh. Stuff in these movies, these TV shows. I mean, it's just, you have to watch. I mean, don't be tempted by your old sins, because Satan will draw you right back in it. I like this strawberry lemonade. It's pretty good. Not that really matters, but it is good. It tastes like strawberries and lemonade, and lemons, I guess. That's what. Anyway, it's not important. And today's sponsor, strawberry lemonade. You should try it. You should get yourself some. It's nice and delicious and refreshing. How many people's probably thinking, "Oh my gosh, he's plugging in a sponsor"? Nah, I'm just playing around. I'm just trying to feel like me again, I guess. So, God bless you guys. If you don't know Jesus Christ, then I just ask you to just say anything in these words, or just let the Spirit lead you into it. But basically just say, Lord Jesus, I'm a sinner. I accept you into my life. I accept you into changing my life. I know I have sins, and I struggle to get rid of these things, no matter what it is. I ask for your divine hands over me, and to change me, to mold me, to sculpt me, to remove anything out of my life, Lord, that is not pleasing to you. Give me the knowledge of these things, whether it's movies, whether it's music, whether it's porn, whether it's gambling, whether it's lying, whether it's thieving stuff, whatever, smoking, doing drugs, drinking alcohol, and or sleeping around with multi people, and whatever it is that's bringing you down, that you feel ashamed of. Lay it at his feet, people. Lay it at his feet and ask him to change it today. And then I recommend you start reading Matthew. We're reading the book of Acts right now. We're taking it a chapter in the morning and a chapter at night, and kind of breaking it down and doing like a little Bible study, talking about it. And it's actually pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can look at yesterday and years ago to what we're dealing with today in books of Acts. I don't know why Jesus gave me so much mercy, but I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful for what he has done in my life. I don't deserve it, but I'm just glad he didn't leave me. You know, and I'm glad that when I needed him the most, he didn't run from me like everybody else did. And you know, I truly, truly, truly did think that Darlene was going to just say, I'm done. And I was ready for it. I mean, I truly was. And when everybody else walked away, she didn't. It's amazing. And I look at people today, you know, people I was talking to, you know, like I said, Randy Kay, you know, Greg, and, you know, I just, I just don't understand. You know, I just, you know, I don't think people realize, you know, I guess it really doesn't matter. You know, the only thing I can come up with is I asked Jesus to change things, and I have to accept it. And I guess you get hurt more when you think uh, you don't think that these people would do something like that. But it's okay. You know, being in pain a lot and being going through these last, you know, or just January, February, March, April 16th. It's going on 4.5 months. A lot crosses your mind, a lot. But I thank God for what I have in my life, and I thank God for what He took out of my life. And whether it's people, activities, whatever it may have been, I think about Paul on the road to Damascus, being blinded, and I think of myself as being crippled. And he had to cripple me to slow me down. I truly believe it. And I don't deserve His mercy. I don't deserve God's forgiveness, and I don't deserve the Lord's blood. I don't deserve the cross. I think of my life, and I think about where I've been, what I've done, and think about my immediate family, and you know, I just always felt like an outcast. You know, I don't know a lot of my family, you know, because we didn't grow up that way. And, you know, I always feel like you never know what to say to them. You just try to come up with stuff, but it's like talking to a stranger sometimes. You know, you just don't feel accepted. You know, my grandma, my dad's mom, I never felt accepted there. I just, you know, every time I went there, I had to stand outside, or if I was allowed to step in, I stepped into the kitchen. One time I used a bathroom, and my Uncle Denny's room was across from the bathroom, and I seen these statues. He had this, like, I think it was Frankenstein and stuff like that, and I always thought that was so cool. You know, I guess they were models or something that he put together. And, you know, I collect a lot of models and superhero stuff and things like that, and I looked for those models. I mean, I actually went online a while back because I wanted to build them, because I just thought they were the coolest things ever. And I related to that, and I know he likes Star Wars and stuff, but my Uncle Denny's a hard guy to, I mean, his facial expressions, like, I don't know, it's almost like my Aunt April is like love. You can feel love. You can, I mean, she's got the most beautiful smile. It's like a warm chocolate chip cookie. That's how I feel. Like I'm eating a warm chocolate chip cookie, my Aunt April's smile and stuff. And But Uncle Denny, he just, I don't know, he's kind of hard to figure out. I mean, it's almost like I was working on my motorcycle one time around the corner where we lived, and he lived right up the road, and he was walking, and I was working on the carburetors and stuff, and I've seen him walk by, and he waved, and it's kind of like, man, I didn't know if I should go down there, and I was kind of hoping he would have came back and just come up and talked to me, and I mean, I didn't want to stop him because I knew he was walking, and I know when I walked and ran and stuff, I wanted to get my workout and stuff done, and I don't know, I think about wasted moments and wasted days. How many days did we waste that God give us? Too busy planning other things and what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. I know, I don't ever have to question what Darlene's doing or anything else. I don't care. Well, basically, if she went out and bought $100 worth of clothes, I wouldn't care. It's the least I can do for everything she's been doing. And I know it's hard on her. I know it's troubling, and I try not to overwhelm her, or some days I think I'm just being a burden. It's that's when I rely on Jesus the most. I don't want to go back to hell, people. I don't want to go there. It literally scares me. I mean, I've never been a fearful person of anything, but the more I start thinking about hell and going back into that thoughts, because I do want to finish that other video on it, the more I've been digging some of the stuff and making my notes, it scares me. I truthfully am so frightened that I just don't ever want to displease God. So it's up to you where you end up, not God. God doesn't put people in hell. People put yourself there. So that being said, what are we at? 52 minutes, I think. Okay, well, it's not too long. Not that I listen to people, but I do listen to people. Some people saying they're too long. Some people saying they're tired of hearing me ramble on about my life. I think when I'm in this kind of mind thoughts, I think you really get a lot of good information. Then again, the videos I think are sucky. You guys seem to get a lot out of them, so I don't know. Maybe this video is going to be one of those. But hope you guys, I'll be back on tomorrow uploading some more stuff. And good news is the upper room's getting started, and I'm going to show you. I'll put that through beginning of a video, and so you can see it from the beginning to what it looks like in the end. Yeah, I don't know. May God bless you guys. Keep you safe. Protection over you. May Jesus' blood be with you. Pray, pray, pray. Spend time with God. Spend time with Jesus. Spend time with family. Love you. Till the next one. Well, the off button.